fish heads. They probably missed us because we weren't here last week. We appreciate you all joining us. You can follow me and Jess on Instagram now as well.
Yeah, welcome back. We missed a week, but we're here. We're going to show some studio tanks, which is going to be awesome. We're also giving away 2 shirts today, so got to be active in the comments, ask questions. We'll be doing a Q&A later. You know, make conversation.
Win some swag.
Currency to win. So
we do have these shirts online for sale also. The Waterbox color tees. There's a number of different colors you can pick up.
I love them. Yes.
Yeah. Again, interact with us. That's what we're here for. That's why we're live. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. If you're on Facebook, share the stream. That also helps us a lot as well.
Yes, indeed.
So
we have actually been, we did our first show from this studio April 21st last year. So we've actually been here right at a year.
Wow.
We're doing the streams here. So I thought it was like a perfect time. Let's check on what tanks we have going here, how everything's doing. A lot of them you've seen through builds over this past year, but just like a studio tour, basically, of everything we have going on.
And we've set up a lot of aquariums, you guys. I want to read those off, how many we have in here. We have a REEF LX 320.7 INFINIA 5 foot. We got a FRAG 105.4. We got a fully aquacultured ORA tank that's a Peninsula or a Marine X 4820.
Yep.
A CUBE 20, a FRAG 165.6, a CLEAR 4820, and all-in-one 50.3. We got all those aquariums in here.
There's a lot.
And we still have room for more, too.
Oh, yeah, there's more coming, too. So that's just what we've done builds on, currently doing builds, any of that. There's more to come. So we've come a long way from, I think we moved just the FRAG over here from the office.
Yeah.
That was the only tank when we came over here a year ago. So we're going to take a look at all the tanks, talk about what's in them, just show you up close. Give you a little
they're
tour.
beautiful. They're all looking fantastic.
All right. Ooh, there's our saltwater side. You see the nice line up of the tanks here. A lot of them we've had built on. Hopefully you followed along with those.
We've got about 2,000 square feet of aquariums.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a lot of people that would love to have that.
There's our freshwater side, still in the works. It's going. So you're going to see that one's going to become a nice full wall, just like the saltwater side is, with a lot more freshwater. Speaking of which, we do have a freshwater YouTube page now, which we'll have to link that out.
Yeah, so we do have a go ahead and search Waterbox Aquariums Freshwater, and you can find that channel. Fully dedicated to freshwater.
The first one here is the REEF LX. This is 320.7. And this one, I think we hit the 8-10 month mark, roughly, of fish and corals and stuff being in here. It's doing great. The corals are filling in. A lot of them gotten really big. There's a few spots still open for coral that we can probably kind of go to. Running the XR30 blues on there. We've got 2 MP60s.
It's a big aquarium. There's a lot of real estate for coral.
Yeah. So we haven't really focused on this one in a while since the build ended, but you can see I'm going to do a revisit sometime kind of up close how big everything has gotten. And like that bubble coral right there is like 10, 12 inches across. Like
big. It's like a basketball.
It's huge. You can see all of our fat, happy fish going. Some nice leathers that have gotten big.
Mm-hmm. I like that leather. Nice green polyp toadstool.
Yep, and this one tank actually here, a lot of the corals came from Living Reef Orlando. So a lot of that is actually stuff from them. So definitely check them out.
We did a whole, I think it was, I don't know, 10, 12 week build on that.
I think 20.
Reef LX. Was it that long?
I think we did.
Yeah, probably around, okay. So A to Z large reef aquariums. If you go to waterboxaquarium.com and to the videos link, there's a page that outlines this whole entire build. If you're looking to set up a large reef aquarium or any reef aquarium for that matter.
It's a good guideline for pretty much any. We just focus on the larger side of it. You saw that was our little Zoa garden. We've got a little Lobo here. Clownfish in the back playing with some Goniaporas. These clownfish, we have 4 of them in here. It's in a kind of a little bit of an oddity that they've been together for a long time like this. It's a group of 2 regular oscillators, 2 black and whites, and they host everything that moves.
They just move around.
I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, torch, Goniapora, like, you'll see, they really like Gonies, the leathers. They pretty much will jump in anything and are constantly just wiggling all over the place in here.
One of my favorite things that Jess did with this tank is all the little different sections of the tank. She did like species of corals. So there's a Goniapora, a little garden. There's a zoo garden.
Yeah.
There's star polyps, etc. Just all, there you have mushrooms.
Here's our mushroom. We got Recordia, Yumas, and Rhodactis type mushrooms here. just to kind of let fill in. Because the nice thing about like similar type of corals is they kind of intergrow and mingle a lot of times. So you can have them a lot closer together than if you had them separated. Here we have our clove polyps that are going crazy.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm having to put borders up around it so it stops and basically trim it back. But these clove polyps, they're fast growing, they're happy. They're really nice and beautiful though. A big old leaf leather, like neon green one. We'll have to do some comparison shots of this one like we did with the ORI tank recently.
Yeah, for sure.
Then and nows. Another bright one. This one's more like a bright yellow leather, but nice long tentacles. He's up at the top, gets lots of flow. Very happy.
Super nice.
Yeah, this tank is doing really beautifully, as you can see. Everything is definitely filling in.
Fish Pony says, "What's up, Mango?" That Mango's our Naso tang that I've had since about, I think, like 2007. So.
Yep, she's always there. She is.
Yeah.
Always hungry.
Always in your face.
Always in your face. Every video or thing we've done in here has always had her front and center. And I think she's growing. You can see.
I think so, definitely. It's just, she's been in the Reef LX. She's definitely.
This is a 7-foot tank. This is big. And everything looks pretty small in there when you zoom out from it, but it's really filled in nicely. If you didn't check out that build, go look it up because it's a great, like I said, A to Z on reef care and everything.
I think I actually go to, I don't remember what the URL is actually. Oh, was it /huge?
It was.
I don't know if that's still active or not, but.
If you go to our page and videos, there's a builds down at the bottom that you can
Yeah.
link to different builds, so you can check that out. This is a large reef aquarium. And next one up here is our Infinia, which is our newest setup one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Infinia 215.5. Just the other week we added corals in there, but everything is stabilizing nice. We have 3 XR30 blues on here. And still working on adding more equipment and everything to it, but this one has gone through its first couple shifts of putting livestock in it, and that's kind of where we're at with it. But this is our newest setup one in the studio.
I do want to mention too that the rock that you see in all of our saltwater aquariums is the CaribSea Life Rock, which you can pick up online. We've predetermined and created bundles for all our different aquarium systems.
Yep.
So we made it tremendously easy to pick which rock you need for each tank.
Yeah. So we've got a mix of soft corals in here for the most part. You can look back about 2 weeks ago, and we did the episode was on adding corals, so you can actually see what we added. But mushrooms, zoos, got some firefish, foxface, and some clowns in there for now. And of course, we'll add some more in there.
Going just mixed reef on this one?
Yeah, so softies and LPS.
Yeah.
No SPS, gonna keep it real flowy and simple. And the goal is, because it's very archy, aquascapists have like the whole upper half flowy stuff.
Yeah.
And then the bottom kind of soft fill-in corals. And then a lot of fish, I know we're over, a lot of fish that will like weave in and out of the rock work, because it's very open.
Nice.
Yeah. So all the new corals have settled in very nicely.
Those are very nice too. What are those called? You don't know the name of them?
Watermelons? I don't know. Depends
Orange
on who
and
you ask.
green-
It could be
orange and
anybody. It could be
green
like
xanthids.
500 different names,
Yeah.
depending on who you ask. I try not to get too much into the
naming
game.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of it. There's so many different names, and then some corals have multiple names that are the same.
Depends who you get it from. The same
Yeah.
thing is like this by every different vendor. So little pallies, hairy mushrooms. I like these because they give a lot of movement for a mushroom, and they get pretty good size and they'll grow well. Nice bright green. Beautiful. I love how the rock's already purple because we use the CaribSea.
Yep.
And of course, we have to have the leathers in here.
We have a nice variety of leathers in all of our tanks.
Yeah.
Like really nice ones.
And most of them ones that we kind of have had from tanks and have grown over time.
Yeah.
So a lot of our corals have actually been with us for 2-3 years from our previous tanks. A little branching star polyp for Rich.
As always, if you guys have any questions, post them below. We'll do a little Q&A here afterwards. So by all means, if you have questions about Waterbox, keeping your aquariums, whether it's saltwater, freshwater, post them below. And we're giving away some swag also at the end of the stream.
Yeah, drop any questions you have about the stuff that's in the tank, the tanks, any of that, and we'll answer them. And then I did add like a hammer and a Duncan in here for a little bit of LPS, just this easy stuff. Some pretty clowns.
So this is the Infinia 215.5,
0.5. Yep.
right? This is the newest aquarium in the studio, just recently set up.
But you can see all the corals and fish are very happy.
That's such a weird coral.
The little lettuce, they're
Yeah.
called lettuce or cabbage leathers, but yeah, they just are like kind of weird flat chunk. But the ones we have are like a bright green. So a lot of times you'll actually find them in like a more brown tan. But the ones that we have and have kind of been growing and reproducing are nice and bright.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there you have it, the Infinia.
The Infinia.
Next up.
Our FRAG 105.4. This one actually came over with us from main office when we set up the studio.
Yeah.
It has been through a lot of changes. And it kind of right now it's just like a coral holding tank. So we have a lot of coral, kind of just nice mixed reef, kind of pull stuff out of it as I need. But you know, it's got a lot of good stuff in there, and it's our longest running one as of right now, just because it came over with us.
What was the build we did with this one?
It was a worldwide coral build, mixed
Okay.
reef.
We did a big giveaway with it, I think, too.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And that one, I think we did that one like 2 years ago, I want to say. It was about
Yeah.
2 years ago that we did that one. And it was a worldwide coral sponsor.
All Ecotech equipment.
Yeah, all
full deal.
Ecotech, worldwide. So some more bigger holding pieces. Like this is a big old chalice here. At some point I'm going to probably cut up and do a couple smaller ones to move into some tanks. So
Yeah, it's like 3 times the size as it was, at least.
it's huge and super bright. And so this is a lot of my kind of bigger pieces that I need to hold for tanks or break up. And
This is like a
split up.
Rhodactis? What is
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Oh, I got it right. Look at that. Come on now.
Rich knows his corals. So this is, I haven't done anything on this one in a while. It just
Yeah.
Kinda hangs
It
out.
just kind of hangs out. It's halfway a holding tank. It's going to get moved here pretty soon to make room for
some things
some
coming up.
builds coming down the road very soon.
Can't tell you about that.
Yep. I love those shrimp.
Yeah, so this one has, I think, 2 cleaners and 2 bloods in here. A nice big old Goniaporas, our clownfish is hosting, of course. The paraclowns in here actually are rubbing and cleaning along the base of the Goni, so they might actually be laying eggs soon there. Because usually
Really?
you see them doing their cleaning and wiggle thing and meticulously taking care of a certain area before they lay eggs. So we will see if they do that.
Where did that pair come from? That's.
Man, I don't know.
I know the ones over here are the ones I've had for a while in the LX. I don't know where those.
I don't know. I think
Maybe-
they've just been with us for a while.
We have so many.
Oh, this is a beautiful
fish and coral.
gold wall hammer.
is
These are
nice.
pretty hard to
Australian?
find. Probably Australian.
Yeah.
And instead of branching, they have a full long skeleton. It actually makes them harder to keep because if they get any damage to them, a lot of times you can lose the whole colony. And they're not really fraggable like the branching ones, but very nice centerpieces. And this is, oh, I forget the name. It's a fancy torch.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Fancy's
flaming
fancy
torch or
torch, yeah.
something. Holy grail, something like that. So yeah, this is mostly an LPS tank with a little bit of softies in it.
Torches are one of those corals, as of the last few years, have gotten very pricey.
Very pricey, very popular, but yeah, I mean, they used to be $20 a head all
Yeah.
day long for torches
Dime a
and
dozen.
hammers and frog spawn.
Now it's very hard. There's not a lot of places to get
a
imported
lot harder
from.
to get them.
Yeah.
More color varieties coming out makes a higher price tag. But the flowiness of a long tentacle torch, like you can't beat it. Because
Right.
like you get torches and their tentacles go this and they're just waving all over. It is really beautiful in your tank.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, we have this is I think still probably my favorite build in the whole building.
Yeah.
It's the ORA fully aquacultured MarineX 4820, previously known as the Peninsula 4820.
Yeah, so we actually recently changed this over to Radions, the XR15s, blue. And you can see a few weeks back we did an update on this showing from like first setup to growth now. And we added some new corals in there. The SPS has really taken off. You can see it's a full mixed reef. So it's got SPS softies, everything in it. And it's fully aquacultured by ORA. And it's just grown in so beautifully.
Yeah. This has become my favorite tank because, at least for me in the past, it's like, well, how do you create a fully aquacultured aquarium that's still really colorful and beautiful, et cetera? And this really proved that fully aquacultured, these are not just frags. These are frag generations of a coral that's been living in captivity. So
Yeah.
it's really neat.
I'll tell you, as far as like the growth and like kind of issues we've had, it's like these corals rebound the best. They grow the best as far as like, you know, anytime you set up a tank, no matter how good you are, there are things that are going to happen.
Sure.
Things that stress or die. Like this has probably had one of those less issues of any tank that we've set up for just, you know, keeping color, growth, all of that. And I think that a lot of it has to do with these are so far generationally captive, raised and bred and reproduced and stuff. But if you look back in the video, I couldn't believe this was like a single head when it came
Right.
out. I didn't even realize it had gotten that big. It's a very large hammer. And all the SBSs starting to multi-branch. This is actually a Galaxia.
Really bright.
Really bright Galaxia.
Yeah.
And they're pretty aggressive. So you see he's not really around much. He's got his own space. The
Red
red Ghani.
Yeah.
Love that. It's not even close to fully open in this video here. Because it's got really nice long flowy tentacles.
Yeah,
And it's
that's a
brown.
really nice coral, and a really good aquacultured coral too. You know, if you can buy those, buy them aquacultured for sure.
They're a lot better. They're going to take less intensive feeding, like spot feeding. Leathers, of course, 69. That big old toadstool, very like long polyp. And then we've got our little SBS mountain on that side, one on the other side.
I love that bird's nest up there. You can tell which way the flow is going.
I know. He's like trying to go into the little ripes, and I'm like, no. So all the new corals that we got in a few weeks ago have all up on the rocks. They've all adjusted nicely to their spots, and really just gonna let this. At this point, it's just growing in.
Yeah.
There's not much more room to put anything in here.
What's cool about this system is, if it looks very natural to me. It doesn't look all, you know, I don't know how to say it. Like maybe like a lot of the aquariums these days, people try to make them look very like glow sticky, everything's glowing and crazy vibrant. This looks more like if I was looking at a natural reef.
Yeah.
You
But the
know?
colors are so bright. You got all the blues, you still have that brightness,
Yeah.
but it's like I said, very natural. It's just such a nice mix that it just kind of looks.
I love it.
I know. And it
Love
still probably is maybe one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That one has turned out so well. So you can definitely check the build that we did on that. We got the video on that. We've done some 8 updates, and one was like 3 weeks ago. So definitely check that out. It's
Nice.
amazing to see the growth on that thing.
We still have 4 more aquariums to go, you guys. So I want to see the questions flowing in. I want to see you guys making friends in the comments. I want to see that like button get destroyed. Yeah. The next up is the Cube 20.
I think this is probably got to be one of your like second favorites. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of did this one envisioning kind of just a setup for
Look
you.
at it. It's jam-packed.
It's a Cube 20. It is all leathers, and it's got a couple little Paleozoa grandis, and that's besides that, we just throw them in there, and they have.
Got the new mesh lid system.
Yeah, we got the new mesh. This is running an AI Prime on here. Super simple. There's no crazy filtration in the back. It's just a softy tank, and the leathers are so nice because it's just so full.
Yeah, if you're looking, Cube 20 is borderline maybe too small for a beginner in my opinion, but if you're looking to get into the hobby, this is like the perfect setup I think for like the beginner, right? Get a Cube 20 to all soft corals.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to be too picky in regards to like water quality and fluctuation. So definitely a very good starter tank. Just mimic this exact tank here.
Yeah, if you want something easy that's going to fill in, leathers, softies, that kind of stuff, but especially the leathers. So these are Paleozoa grandis. These things have really, really big heads. They'll actually eat pretty big chunks of food. And they were kind of on a rock with the leather, so I was like, sure, you can go in here.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're happy. But we got about, I think, 7 different types of leathers in there. But the one at the top, of course, is like overtaken, but it's nice because it kind of just overhangs like the whole rock structure. I mean, it goes glass to glass. And it's just those 2 clowns in there and some inverts.
Nice.
Just a happy little simple
What kind of
ecosystem.
clowns are those? Do you know?
I don't know. Oh,
You
right.
don't remember out of all of those hundreds of variations?
Oh, those are, no. No, I don't. No. They're all right. I know they're all right.
Maybe Donna's here.
Yeah.
Donna.
Those
Help
either
us out.
ORA or Living Reef, and I don't remember which. I have to go all the way back to. We did a Cube series, and I think we just are dropping it soon again as a full one video, but it's whatever clowns I put into there. So
it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Can't put me on a spot like that. And then, so in the back here, we have a 6-foot frag, and this is a holding tank, but
we've never really highlighted it, right? Like
no, I think we've done a couple pictures on social.
Yeah.
It's really in the back. It's not fancy. It's got XR30 Pros on here and a frag rack, and things kind of just get shoved and moved around. That's where they are.
Corals come and go as we need them.
It just sits in the back pretty. Like it's run very simply.
People ask where Gary is. You can see Gary right there.
Yeah, so Gary lives in here because the ORA tank was just too small for him to have enough algae and stuff and knocking into things. So this is his bigger permanent home. For all of you guys who ask about Gary like every week.
I know, I see it all the time. Like, Gary's in the back room.
He's in the back room. We don't really ever show it. So you can see it's just a huge different mix. We got branching star polyps growing all over the place. We've got daisy polyps and stuff. So a lot of mine were like growing invasive stuff, just let them grow on a rock. That way I can break them up. Yeah. And, you know, when we move tanks or take down or do anything different, it's just kind of where everything goes and revolves around.
Blue mushrooms.
These are blue mushrooms. We were talking about the other week about mushrooms being invasive. That's the type that is invasive. And you'll see they're dropping kind of babies wherever they so please in this tank, which is fine because it doesn't really matter too much in this one. But they're really pretty. And then just kind of some random smaller frags. And
that's a frag rack from a very old build we did, I think.
Yeah, it's like Zen something that made the frag rack.
Yeah.
Works around the overflow box. It works great. We'll see a star polyps here.
Love it. It's perfect. I'd love to see just an aquarium that's all star polyps, like the whole thing.
Might just happen.
Okay, cool.
Because I'm going to need somewhere for
I
all
like
the
that
growing.
mushroom right there, though, too. Look, it's like black with like neon green.
Yeah. Well, as the star polyps keep growing in the frag tank, it might just be a smaller system for star polyps happening soon. Yeah. So, we don't ever highlight. I feel like we've never done anything on this, have we?
No.
Except for maybe some social pictures.
Those are nice.
Yeah, little daisy type polyps. We got
See a
big
Duncan back there, too.
Yeah, big old Collium Duncan. I really need to do some fragging, do some videos on that, because there's a lot of stuff in here that needs to cut down.
Hasn't shown the one with the names. There's a big rock that's fully incredible. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So this one has meteor shower cyphastria. It has golden leptathria, and then it also has, oh my goodness, lepto. I think it's golden lepto.
Lepto, I think, in the back.
Yeah, so it's this huge rock that's like too big for me to do as a coral saw on. So it just kind of stays back there.
That's a sneak peek into the frag 165, right?
Yep.
It's in the back of our studio where all of our equipment is stored and stuff like that. And that's where we keep all of our...
It's not the prettiest. The back glass has coraline.
Yeah.
It's, you know...
It's not part of the official studio. It's like the back room.
But we have to include it because it is a tank here. This is all showing the whole studio of what we have. So that's all of our salt water. That's all in for now. There's more things coming. But for now, that's what we have set up here. Running systems for the saltwater side. And our freshwater side is finally starting to get stuff in it.
Yep.
It's still a long way to go, but it's getting there. And next one we have is the Clear 4820. And this is actually a Blue Friday build.
Yep, we built.
With Scott from OSA. He did it. It's doing amazing. It's thriving beautifully.
I love this tank.
It's very simple. Some of the tetras in there have been reproducing, so they've like gained their numbers. The rainbows are happy. We got little baby cherry shrimp all over the place, and it's been good. And we actually are running the Radion freshwaters on here. I like the color.
Yeah.
The color it gives is really, really nice. So
yeah, if you guys didn't know, last year Ecotech came out with a Radion freshwater. So there's a freshwater XR15 and a freshwater XR30.
Yeah.
So if you're into some higher end freshwater lighting, that's definitely a good way to go. Look at that. That's so awesome.
So it's got the driftwood, and it's got anubias growing all over the driftwood. We're using like krypton, swords, and anubias all along the bottom. We have some jungle val towards the back that's filling in. And it's just kind of running so set now. And it takes, even a freshwater tank, if you haven't had one, like there are its ups and downs in the beginning. But you hit that smooth spot, and like a freshwater planted tank, this is low tech, is so easy. It's just beautiful to look at. The fish are peaceful. You can see my little swords are actually popping out babies.
Nice.
And we planted a little tiny baby in that back corner from the swords that are in there.
So as we're talking about the freshwater guys, we did just launch a freshwater only channel. So this is videos dropping every week, specifically related to just freshwater for all our freshwater guys. Keenan, I don't know if you can put the link in the comments, maybe.
Yeah, I can do that.
And we also syndicated, if you're not on our email list, we did send out an email with that link as well recently.
Nice. For the freshwater lovers, check out the YouTube freshwater. We're just starting to drop videos on there. We're going to be building that library up.
Yeah.
So that's our beautiful. So that one's been set up for, what was that, about 5 months?
Yep.
Yeah, about 5-6 months. Doing great. And then we also have an all-in-one. It's 50.3. This is a bit newer. You're going to see a build video dropping onto the freshwater YouTube channel soon for this one. Low-tech all-in-one planted. And it's a really good one to follow along for that. It's going through a little bit of up and down phases right now because it is newer. But it kept it pretty simple. We're using the Dragonstone, CaribSea substrate. And it's just a nice school of Harlequin Rasboras.
Yeah,
which
you get
I
the new
do
mesh
love.
lid system there too for the all-in-one.
And this one's running the primes.
Prime freshwater, yeah. So this is a really cool system, and you go through the detailed step by step, right? You talk about
the build that we're gonna. What do you know when that's scheduled for, Keenan?
Which one?
The all-in-one low-tech build.
a few weeks from now, I think.
It's in the last week of May. Of May. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
oh,
So it's like 3 weeks away, but it's scheduled. We can move it up if you want to bring it up.
It's all good.
It's
But
happening soon.
but you go into detail on like soaking the driftwood.
soaking driftwood, escaping.
Yeah.
You know, the placement and the filtration. We just have it all in one setup. You know, types of plants that we're using, and all of that. So it's a really good, if you haven't done a planter tank, a really nice kind of step by step, low tech, how to do it, and it's filling in nicely. We got a little bit of like hair thread algae that we're dealing with and some of the hair grass. Got some Amano shrimp in there to take care of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you put in there? Some mono shrimp
Yep.
to.
Kind of naturally clean that up. We got some autocats and stuff in there, so.
I
keep
like
an eye
that
out.
setup because, you know, just looking over at it now, it has the black background on it, right? And a lot of times, planted tanks, you know, they keep the clear, they do a frosted.
Yeah.
It looks really nice with the black background, actually.
Yeah, it makes everything pop really nicely
Yeah.
up against it. So, you know, that one turned out, and it's just showing all-in-ones are actually they're great freshwater tanks. So, you know, we want to
Yeah.
kind of showcase how easy it is to set up with that. So do keep an eye. Go subscribe to the freshwater channel so you get hit the notifications so you know when we are dropping new weekly videos on that channel now,
Yeah,
too.
and they did just drop the link there in the comments. So make sure you head over there, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, after the stream.
Don't leave us.
Yeah, after the stream, head on over to that channel there. You can check out the videos. Again, they're dropping weekly. We wanted to give a channel that's specific. This channel tends to be really saltwater heavy. We wanted to give something that like just shoots down the freshwater aquarium or planted aquarium lane. So that's what we did.
So we got a lot more planned for that. So it'll become active and nice full library just like our saltwater one will. So
Dropping videos every Saturday morning.
every Saturday morning, dropping
There you
videos,
go.
fresh and saltwater side, right?
Right.
Yep. So every Saturday morning, new video dropping on the YouTube channels.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's our tanks here at the studio. Just a few. We should calculate how many
Only a
gallons.
couple.
We need to calculate the gallons at some
Yeah, we
point.
should do that.
Yeah. So as you can see, we're definitely adding, and that's in 1 year. We've got all these builds up and stuff like that going. You know, a lot more to come.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely.
So we have still a lot more space open, which is great.
Yeah, it's like you said. There's a lot more to come, but like we always say, nothing good happens fast. So these tanks take time to set up.
Yeah.
It's not like we could just move in here and set up a bunch of aquariums and they'd be ready to go. We film the whole process. We cycle them, we aquascape them, we take time to put in the livestock. So it all takes time. So that's why we still have a tremendous amount of room to do more builds for you guys, but you know, got to do it right.
Yeah, absolutely. So check out any of our past builds if you haven't seen them. You know, very informative from anything. We have small tanks, big tanks, all the different versions that we've done. Check those out. And I think they're pulling questions up for us soon.
If you guys haven't already, destroy the like button. Violently, no. Just smash that
Violently.
like button
Dang.
for us, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because we're here for you guys. This is why we do the live stream. We go live. We've done it since the company's inception.
Yeah.
And we do it so that you guys can interact with us, and we want you to know when we're going live. So hitting that subscribe button and notifications is critical.
Don't miss it.
Rich and Jess, do you have any aquariums at home? Oh man, that is the world famous question that people do not like the answer to.
All right, I have aquariums, but they don't house fish.
Yeah.
So.
I do not have an aquarium at home. I have had many in years past. With Waterbox, we have 2 buildings that are full of aquariums that I get to enjoy and help with every day.
Yep.
I'm also, to be honest, I'm not home very often. So it wouldn't behoove me to have an aquarium at home because there wouldn't be anybody to take care of it. So
Yeah.
I save my aquariums for here. I mean, look at this. You
So
just saw
yeah,
'em.
I take care of all the tanks here at the studio fully. So that's my good fill, hands-on
Yeah.
for that. At home, I have more like reptiles, dog's split, axolotls. I got some
Yeah.
of those.
Jess is a
Bearded
pet connoisseur,
dragons.
whether it's fish,
Yeah.
reptiles, dogs.
I got geckos, snake, bearded dragon, axolotls, and 3 Great Danes. So I'm good. And then 8, 9 fish tanks here to take care of. But
Yeah. That's a good question. Hannah's asking, any word on the MarineX lids? We're hoping, I think, July or so. So,
just hang tight.
yeah, hang tight. I know it's not ideal, but we're working. We want them to be perfect, so they will be here soon. Any plans for setting up more nano tanks? You should make a small section to showcase your smaller tanks.
Yes. Yes.
The answer is yes.
There's plans. We're actually about to have to move a lot of stuff around, and we're actually formulating what we want to kind of do with some of the areas, because some of these tanks all have to get shifted from where they're at.
Yeah.
So, definitely want to focus more on smaller tanks, both for fresh and saltwater. So I definitely have a lot of builds and kind of ideas coming in for that stuff. So stay tuned.
Would the green leaf leather be okay getting a lot of indirect sunlight?
I mean, indirect sunlight's okay for an aquarium. Like, it's not bad for any corals, but it's going to lead to more algae issues in your aquarium because you're going to have your regular aquarium light, LEDs or whatever, on for the 8-9 hour time period. But if it's getting additional sun on top of that, plus sun is the very yellow spectrum, which is going to promote algae and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
Ideally, you don't want sunlight going into your aquarium because it's going to have just more issues overall, I think. So try to avoid it, put up some curtains, whatever. Just choose a spot that's not getting beamed at.
Yeah. Which tank has been the toughest startup so far?
I would say the LX just sheerly by size.
Yeah.
Just by pure size. Not as difficult, but just like the longest to do, the most considerations just because of the sheer size of it. I think the one that's given me the most trouble so far is actually our newest planted tank because I'm battling algae and generally in like saltwater. I don't really ever have any issues. So yeah, those would be my 2 choices.
Okay.
I think one was when we had the Peninsula all in one, and you decided to go with the sum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Peninsula All-in-One, when we did the ORA, we decided to move to a sump just because I think the sump is better for filtration and stuff. You can definitely make it work. But
Especially with the SPS and stuff.
Yeah, but with us
Yeah.
wanting to go the SPS route and stuff like that, I think that one, it wasn't difficult, but we decided a sump system was better.
Can I encourage my clowns to host anything?
You can. So generally you want to encourage them to host an anemone and not a coral because clowns can very easily kill a coral. The clownfish that we have in the LX came from our 220 at the main office, and they killed a large elegance because they actually laid the eggs on the side of the skeleton and would beat it constantly up trying to clean their eggs and keep the coral from opening, and it killed a very large elegance. They can irritate torches and goniaporas if they're hosting too hard. Like the ones that might be laying next to that goniapora, I'm going to have to keep an eye on it because if they do, they're not going to let that goniapora open. They're going to mess with them. So if you can get them to host an anemone, it's going to be better. There's a few tricks of like feeding them right next to the anemone. so they associate and they like go to it to touch. You can also, and it sounds crazy, put a picture up on the glass of your aquarium near the anemone of clownfish hosting an anemone that look like them. It has worked. I'm not lying. It has worked.
It's true. It's true.
They see it's so weird. I guess they see the clowns doing it and they're like, I should do this. And you can also put them all together like in a smaller containment box so they stay close in containment. And then sometimes they're just not going to do what you want.
Yeah.
I had a pair of clownfish. I had a 210 and I had a green carbon anemone. It was like 2 foot. I mean, it was a whole corner of the tank. And I had some black and white clowns. It took like a year plus. I tried everything, wouldn't go in it. And then one day I'm just like, they're in it. Just suddenly they decided.
So weird.
You can
They do what
you
they
can.
want.
Yeah.
They do what they want. Tips to deal with salt creep, thanks.
Wipe it off.
We have Waterbox microfiber towels that work well with that.
Yeah, so salt creep is if you're going to have a lot of agitation in a certain area is usually where it's going to happen if you've got pumps that are flowing too much up against glass, if the water's crashing too much in a sump. Splash is going to create more salt creep. So make sure that, you know, those areas are smooth as far as flow goes, and then just wipe it down regularly. But don't necessarily wipe it into the tank if you have a lot of salt buildup.
Yeah.
Because it gets kind of crusty and gets dirt and stuff in it. Don't really just like knock it back into your tank, but just keep everything wiped down regularly.
Yeah, that's just part of the maintenance in general. You're going to want to make sure that underneath where the sump is, make sure your hinges are wiped down, make sure the stand's wiped down, and just keep up with it.
Yep.
That's the only thing you can really do.
It's one of those inevitables.
Yeah. I was told the 6-foot Peninsula 7225 in white is phased out. Do you know if the new lineup will fall into the INFINIA or the REEF LX larger models? I don't have an official announcement for this, but I will tell you that we do have something coming extremely soon for you guys. So keep an eye out in the very near future.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Another reason to subscribe and hit notifications.
Hopefully, I don't catch flack for this, but hopefully less than 30 days we should have something
announcing.
Well, I forget. Keenan's looking at me like, what are you talking about?
And he just got in trouble. No.
Robert Graham, what tank would you suggest for the 105 frag tank?
You trying to get me in trouble? All right. My opinion, and not everyone will agree, is ideally don't have a tang. But if you are dead set, you have to have a tang in there, get something like a yellow eye coal tang. They stay smaller, and for the most part, they're more peaceful. But most people are going to tell you don't do it just because of the height. Yeah. If you stick with one of the small ones, it's not aggressive, you're probably okay. Don't do a yellow, don't do a blue, don't do an ASO, don't do a purple, don't do any of those that are more aggressive or get bigger.
Beautiful frags, what cameras do you use for your videos, photos? I usually use a ND lens.
Keenan?
It's a Lumix GH5.
A Lumix GH5 is what we're using.
With a brown filter.
With a brown filter on it. That's what washes out the blue color.
Ah, there we go. That's a question for Keenan.
Yeah.
I see that come up from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it for questions.
All right, those are good ones.
Right on, guys. Thank you.
Uh-oh, I got told I'm part of the Tang police.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying that I don't want to get in trouble by the Tang police. And just giving the very conservative answer to that, because people will yell at me if they think my opinion doesn't line up. So.
Yeah. Fish Pony says, in reference probably to the the clowns not hosting the enemies, write threatening words on the glass, but you have to write it backwards so they can read it. Nice.
That is creative. Let me know how that works by threatening your clowns. I think that you would just anger them, and they're gonna bite the crap out of your hand next time, because they're mean little suckers. So beware of angering the clownfish. But that would be pretty funny.
A lot of good questions coming through. I wish we can get them all, but we are giving away some shirts.
Yep, ready to do that?
Like we do every week.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. All right,
Sure.
give away 2 shirts.
Waterbox drum roll. Fish Pony on YouTube and Michael Bradley on Facebook. Congratulations, you guys.
Congrats.
Email winners at waterboxaquariums.com. They will get you hooked up with your fresh new teas.
Yeah, so you always want to be watching live, giving away stuff, get your questions answered.
We don't just give away shirts. I mean, sometimes we're giving away aquarium
mix it up,
systems.
you
We've
know.
given away $10,000+ aquarium systems
This
before.
is true. This is true.
Blue Friday, we give away a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So
So-
maybe we'll have to mix it up soon. We've done shirts for a few. But, you know, just getting your questions answered is great. We love to see you guys talking, and, you know, we always read through, like seeing suggestions and comments and stuff. So, and we're here every Wednesday, except for rare occasion, at noon.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
As long as we're all healthy, we are here.
And then next week we're actually going to visit back to the Infinia, and time to kind of show you some, you know, the equipment that we're running on. We haven't talked too much about equipment that we're doing with it, and then add some more corals in there because we need to fill that big boy up. So,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Join us next week.
See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you all for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Remember, you can visit us online at waterboxaquariums.com.
We're live every Wednesday. Thanks for watching. See you next week.